Hey, what's happening, YouTube fam? It's Iconic, and in this video, we're going to be taking a look at the PC version of Diablo Immortal finally leaving beta status after a year plus of waiting. Let's go! So when I took a look at the patch notes for the recent update for Diablo Immortal, it was already a really long video, so I didn't take a look at the patch notes for the PC version of Diablo Immortal. And I've had a couple of days to mess around with it. Stick around to the end because I just did something that actually fixed the game for me a little bit, I feel like. But I'm going to cover these patch notes here and just give you my opinions on them real quick. All right, so taking a look at the PC patch notes here, it's saying Diablo Immortal is available on PC and is no longer an open beta. Thank God. I don't know how long a game is supposed to be in open beta, but a year plus is a little bit ridiculous. For many changes made thanks to player feedback, we have fine-tuned this version of Immortal to deliver an experience we are proud to offer to all adventurers in Sanctuary. We will continue to update this list with any known issues that arise with the current PC version of Immortal. As patches and hotfixes are applied to the PC version of Diablo Immortal, we will update this list with corresponding changes. Hotfixes are typically applied in a higher frequency, addressing smaller related issues. They don't require a large download to be applied to the game. Patches are larger client-side updates that require download for players to obtain. New patches will require players to update before they can continue playing. So, yeah, we kind of know that already. Honestly, the PC patches, hotfixes, all of those things, whatever you want to call them, have been few and far between. I'm just going to scroll down here just to kind of show you guys, but November 1st, 2022 was the last patch note. Like that's crazy. October 18th, September 27th, August 23rd. Like, I mean, there really hasn't been much that's been implemented on the PC version of Diablo Immortal. So let's take a look at what they've done here and see if it makes sense or corresponds. All right, let's take a look under the gameplay section here. All textures, including UI, characters, and VFX, have been given a fidelity pass to ensure they are high resolution up to 4K. Added an interact button, E, by default to improve clickable hitboxes being inconsistent, improving overall interaction. So I can definitely say it doesn't feel like anything was added, like in terms of like the textures per se. But the resolution does look better. Things look a little nicer, a little sharper on the PC version. I'm personally playing in 1440p, and every once in a while I'll play on my TV, which is 4K. I haven't done that yet since the patch, but I will say in 1440p resolution, things do look a little sharper, a little clearer. I can definitely see my character model more than I did in the past. The graphics weren't bad per se, considering this is actually a mobile game, but it definitely felt like in 1440p and when you would go all the way up to 4K that there was something not right with the resolution. And I think it was just staying at 1080p no matter what the resolution was. So it actually does look a little crisper, a little sharper. It feels like a higher resolution to me. So I think they did actually solve that. And then added an interact button, E by default. I actually love this, although I play with a controller mostly, but when I do decide to mess around with mouse and keyboard, that was something that was lacking because you can actually move to click, and unless you change it to something different by default, trying to click on things and use your primary attack and move around like are all the same button. So there's definitely some things that felt a little bit wonky without having an interact button. So that feels very good too as well. All right, next one we have is chat interface. Improved chat communication with commands, a core feature for all Blizzard titles. This allows you now to use whisper in commands. For example, if you use the party chat command, you would send a message to all members of your current party. The tab key can now be used to cycle channels and change conversations. I mean, personally, I do like having these features in a PC game, and it's pretty standard at this point in time. However, we haven't had them the entire time that we've been playing Diablo Immortal on the PC. So when you really think about it, I mean, it seems pretty good to me, just from a personal opinion, and maybe it's just because I'm used to using it. But I mean, when we hop in here and we take a look, I mean, we can easily go through all the different chats. We can get to our party very quickly, our clan, we can get to Immortal, we have our world chat, and you can cycle between like having these on, off, whatever you want to see at the time. So I've personally never had a problem with the chat interface, I would say. I mean, again, it's good that we have these now, but I haven't used them for so long in this particular game that I don't see what the point of adding them in again at this point is. But maybe some people like it. Let me know how you feel about that in the comments. For the next one, user interface, window size and resolution can now be modified in the settings menu under display. This one blows my mind because this entire time you didn't know what resolution you were technically at. And I mean, I'm assuming with my monitor being 1440p, like, hey, it's 1440p. That's what I'm looking at. There was definitely something that felt off to me and didn't look right with the resolution. And again, I said this earlier, but I think it was because everything was at 1080p at that point. So now I can actually go in, I can see that my resolution is at 1440p. Let me show you guys that real quick. So we can go into the settings here, we can go into display, and we have 1440p, which I didn't have that before. We also can change the window size too as well, under the display settings. So that's something that wasn't there either before. And then we can also hover over items in the inventory and stash tabs with your cursor, and it will now provide a tooltip preview. Items in the inventory and stash tabs can now be equipped and stored using right click. Press F12 to save screenshots to your local folder. The escape key will now properly close the most recent window for all primary menu screens. All of these are welcome changes. I mean, escape should have worked for everything basically since the start of the game. Again, some of the decisions, I understand it was mobile being ported to PC, but I mean, these are just modern conveniences that you expect from a title that you're playing on a PC, even on a console. Not necessarily a console, but you know what I mean? Like these are things that you expect from your games nowadays, and we definitely were not getting those. So absolutely 100% appreciated every single one of these. I should be able to hover over inventory items and see the description. I should have a quick way to equip my inventory. Like, all these things are great. Next part, to celebrate Immortal leaving open beta, the limited time Surrogates Mine Bundle is now available exclusively through Diablo Immortal on PC. Download now to secure this limited time offer. So I was wrong about this when I was reading the patch notes. I thought it was going to be a free bundle or reward for playing the PC version of Diablo Immortal and going through some of this. And let me show you guys. So let's go to the shop here. This is a paid bundle. And I mean, as always, you can go, yeah, objectively, it's not that bad. And yeah, objectively, you can go, oh, it's not that bad. It's $5. What's the big deal? Well, yeah, I mean, it's $5. It's not a bad bundle, but really, you couldn't give PC players this for going through all of these things and waiting for over a year for the PC version of Diablo Immortal to be considered out of open beta. I feel like these should be some standard things. It being $5 is kind of a slap in the face to me, but what do I know? I just cover the game. And then there's one last section here, upcoming feature improvements. Add the ability to highlight, copy, and paste text in the in-game chat. And then it says resolution improvements for ultra-wide monitors and tablets. So that's the one I'm most interested in. I play on an iPad, is actually the majority of my game time that I get in, just because with younger kids, a newborn baby, a wife, working, like it's a little bit easier to be with my family and hang out and play Diablo Immortal on my iPad than being tethered to the computer. So what I've noticed, and this has been a problem for a long time, is on my iPad, I don't get the same field of view as my wife does on her phone. She actually has a wider field of view, even though it's a smaller screen. Technically, the aspect ratio is wider, so she can see more than I can. And I believe the same problem persists on the PC version of the game. I didn't see that was mentioned. It just says ultra wide monitors specifically, but I know I've watched a video on one of the content creators. I can't remember off the top of my head here, but they actually did a custom resolution to be able to see more on their monitor than what you get, because you can't change the field of view. So that would be something else I would ask for, and hopefully that could be accommodated at some point. But we definitely need a wider field of view for PC as well. And then there's one final thing that I just wanted to mention and talk about. So I didn't see this listed in the patch notes whatsoever. I didn't see it anywhere, but I can say that I have been having trouble with the PC version of the game in terms of when I first open the game and load in. There's all kinds of pop-in, things are taking forever to load. Every time I go to somewhere for the first time, let's say I go run a rift, or I go into a dungeon, or I go into the Warband Castle, all of those things take forever to load, and it's glitching. I'm dropping frames. And then once I've been playing for a while and I've loaded into these different areas, things seem to be smooth and okay at that point. So I tried this just off of the new patch, and I didn't see any difference in terms of the game kind of hanging and lagging and textures popping in and it just taking a while to feel like it's stable. What I ended up doing, and I know I should have done this a while ago just to test it out, but I didn't feel like doing it. I completely reinstalled the game. I uninstalled the game, reinstalled it, and it feels like it runs so much smoother now. I did not have that issue with all of the pop-ins with the textures when I first loaded in. I ran an Elder Rift immediately, and it didn't take forever for it to load me in. I wasn't sitting there. I didn't get any frame rate drops. So far, it actually feels pretty good. So I just wanted to let PC players know, if that's something you've been experiencing, maybe a fresh install of the game is what you need. I know this has been a few months back as well, but I do remember somebody talking about all the assets and the files from all of the updates aren't being overwritten or it's not being replaced when you download the updates. So you have all these additional files that you don't actually need that the game is trying to load in. That's not my area of expertise, so I don't know if that's true or not, but I have definitely noticed a difference already just from a few things of playing around with Diablo Immortal and loading in from just a fresh boot up. So if you're having issues like that on PC, I'd recommend doing a fresh install and see if that helps you out. As always, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Is that something that you've experienced, and what's been your experience with the new and improved version of Diablo Immortal on the PC? I know you guys know what to do, but I'm gonna just tell you, hit that subscribe button if you like the content. I appreciate you all as always, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.